This is me all winter long, a literal couch potato. For some odd reason, I've always wanted to try and build an ice rink in my backyard, mostly because it definitely gets cold enough where I live and it would give me something active to do during the winter months. Well, surprisingly enough, I found a 35 by 60 foot ice rink on my local classifieds, and before I knew it, I had an ice rink loaded onto my flatbed trailer. This was a super fun project and a fun video to make, so let's get started. This ice rink utilizes plastic sideboards to contain the water. People also make these out of plywood and 2x4s, but I justified the extra cost of this rink knowing that these plastic boards would last a lifetime, where plywood may only be good for a couple of seasons and then need to be replaced. Most people who build ice rinks in their backyard use plastic liners to contain the water when it's not frozen. The used rink I bought came with two. The first liner was about 4 years old and had a bunch of holes in it, so that definitely wasn't going to work. And the second one wasn't even close to big enough. So I ordered a replacement liner from Blue Lake Plastics for about $200. Now all we had to do was wait for the weather to turn and for winter to show her ugly ass face.
All right, today is the day we are going to set up our backyard ice rink. We've had this rink for about a month now. We've just been waiting for the temperatures to drop enough that we could freeze the ice. First thing we're going to do is we're going to check level on the surface that we're going to put the rink and make sure that it's somewhat level. As we pour the water will level itself. After that, we'll set up all the rink boards, make sure they're straight and they're square. After that, we're going to go ahead and put in some sweet under ice lighting. Then we'll put our tarp liner on top. We'll plant some ice seeds. We'll fill it with water, and then it's up to the temperature for the ice to set. So why don't we go ahead and get started?
We first took out the tape measure and roughly measured the size of the rink. Once we had that figured out, we were able to start measuring our slope. To do this, you can use a string with a line level on it, or use a laser if you have one. We decided to go the laser route. In this shot, you can see the laser measuring about 19 1/4 inches at the high side.
So on this side, it's far enough from the laser and it's daytime, so we can't see the laser on our yardstick. So I have this little laser reader, and it'll beep right when it comes into level. So right there. So it looks like right here we're reading 24 3/4. So that's math that I will do on the screen right here because I don't know how to do math in public.
Once we knew our slope was within a reasonable amount, we were able to start assembling the rink boards. This rink goes together like butter. The boards just slide down into each other and the red brackets hold the base at the seam. Once we got the rink boards up, we were able to square it up with a tape measure and straighten all the boards to make a nice rectangle. This rink system utilizes straps to keep the boards from being forced outward from the water pressure. Other rink systems utilize stakes that you drive into the ground to hold the boards in place. I knew my ground was most likely going to be frozen, making it difficult to stake the rink boards down. When you fill this rink with water, it pushes outwards on the boards, bringing the straps into tension. This eliminates the need to stake the rink boards into the ground. This was a big plus for me, knowing that I didn't have to worry about the ground being frozen to set up my rink. Once all the straps were installed and semi-tight, we moved on to the under ice rink lights. For the rink lights, I just found some cheap LED rope lights on Amazon and staked them into place using some landscaping stakes. For the rink edge lights, we measured 1 foot from the boards and staked them down. We also installed some red offside lights as well as a blue circle for the puck drop. I know you can't see these lights in action in these clips, but you will see just how awesome they are here in just a few minutes when the sun goes down.
All right, we got all of our rink lights under. The sun's about to go down, so we're gonna put the liner in, start filling it, because it's supposed to get pretty cold tonight.
Spreading the liner is pretty easy. You just roll it down the center of the rink and then fold the edges outwards. It's pretty important to do this when it's not super windy outside. This thing is basically a 40 by 65 foot sail and would get really unwieldy real goddamn quick. We used some of these provided clips to hold the liner in place. And now we're on to the main event, filling the ice rink with water. We can't grow ice without ice seeds, so I went into my freezer and grabbed the highest quality ice seeds I had and headed out to start the fill.
Damn it. Yes, bitch. On this historic day, what's today? The rink will officially be planted. To grow ice, you need a bunch of ice seeds. You want a lot of them so it germinates. So we're gonna go ahead and put our ice seeds in the arena. And all that's left now is to water them in.
This was the start to a long fill. I did make sure to water in the ice seeds pretty good though. I used one hose to fill the rink from the high side and another to fill from the low side. When the sun went down, we were finally able to get a good look at how our under rink lights came out. I've gotta say, these lights make our rink look badass. Definitely worth the extra time and money. Since the sun had set, I decided to check the laser one more time now that I could see it all the way on the other side of the rink. We were shooting for 3 to 4 inches of ice in the shallow end, so with around 6 inches of slope, that came up to 9 to 10 inches in the deep end. We let the hose run for quite a while. I turned the water on around 5 p.m. and we filled it all the way to midnight before I shut the water off. In hindsight, I should have let it fill overnight, but I didn't want to be filling the rink without having some sort of watch over it, so we shut it off anyways. The next morning, I started filling again around 9 a.m. While the rink was continuing to fill, I wanted to add some final touches to the rink. The first thing I did was drive some T-posts into the ground around the rink and slip some PVC pipes with some slits cut in the end over the top. These pipes were going to hold up some string lights to light the edge of the rink, and we can also attach nets to them to keep rogue hockey pucks from exiting the rink at mock Jesus. Once the posts were installed, I hung the rink lights and cleaned up all the cords running to all of our lights. I put all the electrical connections in a dock box to protect them from water and snow. We can also use this to store our skates and stuff like that, so it's going to be a nice feature. Around 5 p.m., our rink had reached 3.5 inches in the shallow end, and it was time to shut off the water. It took a total of around 14 hours to fill this rink. Next time I do this, I'll start the pour earlier in the morning and try to do it all in one go so I'll get a better surface finish and not one that's so rough. We're definitely going to have to resurface this ice when it gets thick enough to walk on. I hung up my 2 favorite hockey team flags to add a little pep to the rink side, and that was it. The rink is officially set up. All that's left to do is to let Mother Nature turn this thin, unstable sheet of ice into a badass hockey rink.
1 week later.
After about a week, the ice had set up enough that we could walk on it. There were some things that we had to fix. The ice sheet wasn't really that smooth, and there were a lot of bumps and imperfections. So my girlfriend scraped off all the real obvious imperfections with a snow shovel, and then I flooded the rink with hot water. I just hooked my hose up to my hot water heater and put about 1/4 inch of water over the sheet of ice. You can use cold water if you don't have a hot water source around, but hot water melts the top layer of the ice and can provide a better surface. After letting this freeze for a couple hours, I then came back with this nifty ice resurfacer that came with my rink. We call it the Home Boney. All this is a piece of pipe with a valve on the handle and holes drilled about every inch at the bottom. This allows you to put a thin layer of water down, and the cloth piece that trails the resurfacer helps to spread it out evenly. Once that was done and had frozen up, the ice looked smooth enough that we could throw on our ice skates, lace them up, and get on the ice for the first time. Introducing this slab of ice in my backyard we call a hockey rink. On this bad boy, you can break so many bones and laugh about it all the way to the emergency room. Equipped with 2,100 square feet of ice, this slab is a training ground for only the worst of athletes. With a little bit of effort and a buttload of water, you'll be skating and creating memories with your family in no time. The outdoor hockey rink, coming to a backyard near you.
We're gonna go out for our first skate. The only problem is, I don't know how to skate, so you guys are gonna watch me fall on my ass a lot, but this should be super fun. I don't even know how to put skates on. Oh my god, I'm gonna break my neck. Is this like rollerblading? If this is like rollerblading, I'm gonna be fine. This is riveting YouTube content. Me struggling to put on my skates. This is really why people subscribe to my channel. To watch me put on hockey skates and fall on my ass. Okay, I'm suited up. One small step for man. Holy f***, I'm gonna die. Holy shit. Alright, here we go. This isn't bad. It's kind of like roller skating. Can I stop? How do you stop? Uh-oh, I should have thought this one through. I'm a speed skater. I could go to the f***ing Olympics. Okay, so the center of gravity thing is definitely a thing. Oh, I'm gonna make an ice angel. So I'm glad we went with the 60 by 35 because a 20 by 40 would have been like way too small. Oh, oh. I'm ready for the NHL, baby. The first hockey puck on the ice. How the do people play hockey? This is impossible. Oh shit, I was doing a hockey. This is the whole reason I built an ice rink, was to learn how to play hockey. I got a long ways to go. Maybe I could start in like the junior hockey league. All the kids. I certainly am their size. Let's see if I can stop. Does that count? I kind of just did a circle. All right, this was the good idea. For every 5 times I fall, Ashley falls once. Let's see if I can stop. Okay.
Well, I think you guys have seen enough of that. This hockey rink is amazing. I wasn't sure that we were going to enjoy it, but I actually look forward to going outside now, even when it's bitter cold outside. Building this ice rink was a ton of fun, and we're going to be using it a lot. If you have been considering building one, I cannot recommend it enough. There are certainly cheaper ways to do this, but I feel like this video is a decent guide for the beginner like myself. Let me tell you from experience, you definitely won't regret building one. Every time I skate, I get a little bit better, and I always make good memories with my family. That can't be said about a lot of things these days. Anyways, that's it for this video. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, get outside and make some memories with your family. You only get one life, so you might as well make it a good one. I'll see you guys in the next video.